Hello gorgeous, it's Jen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am looking forward to sharing my favorite eye products in 2024. I'm going to be covering eyebrows, eyebrow gels, eyeshadow primer, mascara, and of course, eyeshadows. I'm going to apply 2 of them on camera with you. I hope that sounds fun. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with eyeshadow primer. I know some think it's boring. I think it's important. I have been in love with the Ulta Matte Veil eyeshadow primer for a few years now, and while I will try new ones and there are other ones that I like, this is the one I always come back to. They did recently change their packaging, but I still have a backup in this packaging that I will be using. This one gives a teensy bit of coverage, and what I like about it is that it does go matte very quickly. It doesn't give you the feeling like you need to set it with powder. And I like that. Eyeshadows stay on nicely. They are vibrant. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's a drugstore price. In the brow category, there is only one, and it is this one here, this NYX Powder Louder Brow Pencil. This one is just amazing. Looks a little boring. It is just a sharpened pencil with a spoolie on the other side, but let's face it, eyebrow pencils are boring. What I like about this one is that it just gets the job done quickly. It is soft. It looks very natural, and yet it does provide shape to the brows. Brows are so important. They frame your face, and I hate doing my brows. This one has made my brows get done faster and easier, and I just like the way it looks. It stays on well. This is the shade Soft Brown, and this is the brow pencil that I want to use every day. This is a good one. Let's talk brow gel next. The first one of 2024 that I absolutely fell in love with is this one from LA Girl. This is their Brow Perfect Extreme Holding Styling Gel. This one might be the least expensive. This is great. LA Girl was the brand of the year for me. There's so many products that I tried from LA Girl that I loved. This one has a nice small wand. It doesn't go on white or chunky. It does hold the brows very well. Love it. I did try this new one from e.l.f. This is the Brow Laminating Gel, and this one comes with a nice tool at the top for you to groom your brows, but then it unscrews. And this is the product inside. Now this one is a little bit tricky because it can look white as you are putting it in your brows. So just take your time, put it in your brows, then use the tools, and it dries down nicely. e.l.f. did a nice job with this. Just don't let the white scare you. Maybelline came out with their Super Lock Brow Gel. This one also is very much reached for in my drawer. This one is really nice, strong hold, small wand. As a matter of fact, this one might be almost empty. Looks like there's hardly anything coming out. I've used it hard, and I would repurchase. And the last one is for the hardest brows to tame, and that is this Ardell Brow Glue Instant Lamination Lift. You can get this at Walmart, and again with the small wand, but this one has that white again like the e.l.f. So if you don't like that, you don't want to take that extra step to make sure that's gone, this one isn't for you. All of these do a great job. I think what I'll do is I'll put the e.l.f. on my right eye brow. And for this, I do use a small mirror in my bedroom just so that I can see a little bit closer what I'm doing. You can see that white that's going in my brows. So I either just continue brushing, or I use the little tool that comes with it and just keep brushing in the direction that I like, and I can feel this getting stiffer and stiffer. Now I see no white, but my brows are in place. These are not gonna move. And then on the other side, just because this one I think is the most affordable, I'm gonna do the LA Girl Brow Perfect on the left eye. This one is much thinner. This one might have a little bit less hold than the others. but it's definitely gonna be softer feeling. You can see, fluffy, went right through, and they'll stay. Eyeshadows. I tried to get it down to 10. Sal was laughing at me. He walked into our bedroom last night and I was surrounded by palettes, and I looked at him and I'm covered with swatches all over my arms. My black leggings are covered in glitter, and I said, I can't rank them. I love them all for different reasons. I had some great experiences with new eyeshadows in 2024, and I'm just gonna share them all with you, and I'm probably gonna cover myself in swatches, so hang on. Let's start with ColourPop, and maybe I will try to rank these. I have 3 shadow palettes in front of me. I believe the first to release was this one, which is their Beauty and the Beast collab. I also tried to make sure that everything I'm talking about today is available. This is what it looks like. You've got some pink looks possible, some blue, and then a lot of brown neutrals. There's a gold. They did a really nice job with this palette, but I must admit, I'm in a cool toned neutral era right now, so I didn't reach for this quite as much. The blue can be a lot. I have to really be in the mood for blue eyeshadow, but you know I do love it. Ranked second is going to be this Frosty palette from ColourPop. This one I do love. The only nitpick that I would have is that a lot of the shades are that sort of crumbly glitter. So I definitely got back into a love affair with my NYX glitter glue playing with this. The other thing that I would mention about this is that there don't seem to be a lot of midtones. This is the only midtone brown that I was reaching into. So I had to use this one a lot to sort of balance out all of these colors. But color story, A+, I love it. Just remember your glitter glue. Number 1 is going to be this one, which probably was their biggest launch of the year. That is the Twilight palette, and it's just beautiful. I am nostalgic a bit because I am a Twilight girl. I've read the books a million times, seen the movies a million times. So this is the palette, and you have silvers and champagnes and purples and more whites, and then you have some green, lots of different options. I think there's only one really glittery glitter right here. This is the most versatile, and I do like the quality in this one. If by chance you didn't pick this up and you are a Twilight fan, you should totally get it. Let's talk Natasha. I have 4 in front of me that she released in 2024 that I picked up. And the first one I'll talk about, probably at the bottom, but still very much loved, is this one. This is her Hypernatural Face Palette. I just traveled with this. I went to New Jersey, and this is what I brought to stay overnight. Because what I like about it is you have some nice shades on the bottom, and these are not super popping in your face shades. They're very neutral. This is for the everyday girl that just wants to throw something on her lid and go. And I also love that you have some bronzer shades, some blush shades, and while the pans are small, I don't hate it. I do get into both of these easily. I also took this to Florida. Absolutely, I've traveled with this quite a bit. I like the fact that I get eyeshadow, bronzer, and blush all in one. It's very pretty. Let's give a swatchy here. Just a nice, pretty brown. Dreamy shimmer is the one that I have to try to stay out of because it's the one I want to use all the time. But you see, these are soft. Very nice. Next would be the I Need a Warm palette. I love this palette. I had to have this palette. The I Need a Nude remains to be my number 1 Natasha palette. So of course, when she came out with I Need a Warm, I said, absolutely, have to have it. I have to force myself not to get all of Natasha's releases, but I did pick this one up, and it is beautiful. It does have a warm undertone to it, more peachy. I love every shade except the multi-chrome, and I just have a love-hate relationship with multi-chromes. I don't like dark multi-chromes. I like light, bright multi-chromes. So this Phenomena I do not use, but I will say that I love the shimmers in this palette. Again, this one is a little softer, sweeter. This is not the poppiest of Natasha's palettes, but for an everyday look with just pretty peachy golds, I like this. The next one surprised me. The My Dream palette from Natasha. I like it, but it is not my number 1 palette. I don't know if I was influenced from other creators, but when this mini My Dream palette came out, I had to have it, and I'm so glad that I picked it up because this is gorgeous, and I don't think it looks like the My Dream palette at all. It has a neutral, maybe even rosy undertone to it. You are a neutral girl. This is beautiful. But the number one release from Natasha for this year for me is going to be this one. This is her Golden palette. This is gorgeous. This is a very, I believe, neutral palette. There are a couple warm leaning shades. Of course, there's a gold in here. There's a couple variations of gold, but what I see is more lighter bronzes. This one I would recommend over all of them. There's something special about this palette. I have to mention the Makeup by Mario. This is his Master Mattes The Neutrals palette. This one really impressed me. Cool tones, neutral tones. I like this even better than the first one. It's really nice. But I do have to mention a more affordable version that reminds me a little bit of this one, and that is the Revolution Smoky Icon. Now this one, it does have shimmers in it. When you look down here, it resembles this palette quite a bit. Can we do this? Here is the Makeup by Mario. Here is the Revolution. I mean, the color stories are very, very similar. And this Revolution palette really impressed me. First of all, you have two cream shadows on that edge, and I love a creamy white inner area on my eye. You've got a gold, a silver, you've got the darker silver, you've got the bronze, and then all down here are either neutral or cool. I think there are other variations of this palette, but the smoky icon, this one's good. I'm gonna do another affordable one, and that is the Morphe Artistry palette. This is one of my very favorite palettes in my collection. This is one I'm gonna use today on one of my eyes. You have pretty soft pinky tones here. You've got the bright silver, you've got the taupes, you've got the browns, you've got a few different mid-tone choices. This is gorgeous. I'm gonna take a ColourPop E17 and I'm gonna go into Tauperazzi. I mean, I believe I have done this look a few times on my channel, and it's just one that works. I love that shade. Now I'll take a Morphe A19 and I'll go into Crowd Control, which is just that darker, cool toned brown, and I'll just tap that on the outer corner. Blend it up into that Tauperazzi a little bit. And then I'm always torn. I love the Going Platinum shade in the middle, but this Moneymaker, ooh, I'm telling you, it is magical. I'm gonna swatch Moneymaker for you. I'm gonna go right here. It just has a wet, foiled look. Maybe I can put both of them on. Moneymaker in the middle. Would make a really good one and done as well. I love the texture. I love the movement. Oh, so, so pretty. And then of course that Going Platinum. Of course I'm gonna love that. This one can be used wet or dry. Just tapping it in. The cool browns and silvers, just this whole layout. Now on the bottom, I'm gonna take this opportunity to praise Hard Candy and their shadow sticks. I now own 3 of them. I have the white one, which is called Whiteout. I have the gray one, which is called Stoned. And the one that I use the most is this one called Cold Brew. And it is a more warm copper. There that is. And I've even used the coppery one with a cool tone look and just thrown a cool tone shadow on top of it. This one is newer to my collection. Here is Stoned, which I will be using today. And then of course what started it all is Whiteout. Love these. I'm gonna take a little bit of Stoned, which is the more gray silver one. And you can't screw up. You just throw it underneath. And then what I'll do is I'll take this Morphe A19, it's double-sided, and I'll go into the darker side. And I'm gonna go back into this Crowd Control, which is the darker brown. And just go against my lashes with that, just to give a little more depth. Let me know if you have, I think there's a pinkier one. Do I need it? I'll slide away from the bigger palettes and mention a couple singles that I fell in love with, or even duos that I fell in love with this year. And first is going to be this Half Magic I Want More Shades. This is the Wet Pebble. I love the texture of this shadow. It is creamy, it wears really well, so beautiful. I also tried KULFI. This is their Zari Eyes eyeshadow. I now own 2 of them, and I'll show you. This is Bronze Brocade, perfect one and done. This is super creamy, but then when it dries down, again, it doesn't move, and it's so silky soft. And then here is Sona Sona. What a stunning champagne. These are just so nice. I'll throw a bronzer into my crease and just throw this on and go. And of course I had to talk about Patrick Ta. This was a growing love. I don't think I was as impressed with them when I first got them as I am now. I get it now. They really are beautiful. I have 2 of them. This is We Need Better Lighting. I mean, are they worth $42? I'm not sure that they are, but they really are very pretty. This is the one that I was first drawn to. We Need Better Lighting has a silver and a gold. If I wanted to add a little bit more to this look over here, I might go into the silver shade, and then I would definitely use either the glitter glue or a setting spray. I have some MAC Fix Plus right here. And then I just go in and tap, tap, tap. And it gives this beautiful wet scattered effect. Just adds a little bit more. The other one I was influenced by. When I saw the promo pictures for Still at the Club, I thought, well, I'm in trouble because now I need both of them. Looks very boring, like browns, but they are cool tone browns. I think they are a little more pigmented, and definitely the shimmer is more magical than the sort of satin matte. I'm gonna switch hands because I'm running out of space. I think the shimmer has like a blue undertone to it. I think that's one of the reasons why I love it. But I compared this to the Half Magic Wet Pebbles. Here is the Wet Pebble from Half Magic, and here is the Patrick Ta. I would probably reach for this one more. This one is a special occasion, add a little something something to your eyes. Totally up to you. Wait for the Sephora sale, get a little bit of a discount, but they are pretty. Now I gotta talk indie. I tried for the first time in 2024 Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I now have 3 of their palettes in my stash. My favorite one, I have to check and see if it's still available. And it is, and it's on an amazing sale. So if I had to rank them, which I don't want to, I'm gonna probably put this Longing in 3rd place. I love it. It's just not an everyday palette, but you've got purples and greens and grays and so many different options. Their shimmers are one of the most amazing shimmers that I've ever used. They are very, very popping. I'll just pick one of my favorites. I love this Love Letters. They are big on the duochromes. It's blue and purple. Look at that. Ooh, so pretty. All right, one more. How about Remorse? Creamy. So if this is a color story that you're interested in, you will not be disappointed. In 2nd place, I'm gonna put this Divination, which was a collaboration with Robert Welsh. And this one, I just have to give credit where credit's due because it has almost everything that you would need. This is a more everyday version of the rainbow palette. You have browns, you have grays, you have pinks, purples, greens, you have a little bit of a blue, not exactly navy, a little more teal. There's some really bright pops of color. My very favorite color, you can tell I have a theme going on. My very favorite color in this palette is Paul, and that's another just stunning brown that has, I guess, sort of a pinky undertone to it. But the first time I played with that, I was blown away. Probably the best bang for your buck. It's gonna be that one. And I love Robert Welsh. But my number one, and the one I'm gonna put on my eyes today, at least on this side, is this one. And this is the Forget Me Not. This is supposed to be an eye and face palette. I use it just for my eyes. It opens like a book. You have big pans, you have 4 gorgeous shimmers. You have a white, a gold, a pink, and a more champagne. I have to swatch these for you. We've got Cheers, butterflies, magical, and memories. Just so pretty. This is very cool toned. I'll go into, you can go warmer with this palette. Maybe that's what I'll do. I'm gonna go into Anticipation first, which is probably the warmest, probably more neutral matte, but it's what I would pair with the gold shimmer. Next, I'll take this Morphe A20 and I'll go into a little bit of a deeper, warmer, I'll call that Picture Perfect is probably what I would choose. Very deeper, warm shade. This palette, I believe, retails for $42 and it's on sale right now and in stock for $15. Are you kidding me? Next, I'll take this magical shade, which is the gold, which is kind of the star of the show, and I'll go in that center lid. I mean, creamy, popping. And then just because I have to, I'm gonna go into the champagne, which is Cheers. Put that in the very inner corner. Now we can take that Hard Candy Cold Brew, because I went a little bit warmer. And I'm gonna take that under the eye, just so that you can see what this shade looks like. But I use this almost every day in my bedroom. And if I wanted to neutralize it a little bit, I could take this Morphe A18 Itty Bitty, and I'll go into that Picture Perfect and just go closer to the lash line with it. And that shadow stick just helps the eyeshadow underneath stay more vibrant. I'm putting powder on, mascara. I feel like underneath sort of goes away a little bit throughout the day. This keeps it vibrant, and of course you can just use it by itself. It's just easier to swipe on. Another indie brand that I discovered in 2024 was JennDBeauty. I originally fell in love with their brushes. Thank you, BoxyCharm. I bought more brushes, then they reached out to me and asked if they could send me a few palettes. I love all the palettes that they sent me, but the one that I grabbed to show you, probably my most reached for, is this Elemental Blast palette, and it is in the variation Geo. This one is on the warm side. Favorite shade in the whole palette is gotta be this one right here called Bulwark. Maybe a little bit of a red undertone. It's just so pretty. I have done this shade only all over the lid and then pulled up into the crease. So, so pretty. But the shimmers are stunning. Here is Pulverize. Do I have a spot? Here's Pulverize. A nice greeny brown. Check out JennDBeauty. And probably the palette that blew me away in 2024. I treated myself to this palette for my birthday, and it is this one here from Danessa Myricks. This is the Lightwork Volume 6. I didn't bring in the other packaging for this palette, but it also came with a larger palette that you could put all of these in. It's super, super versatile. All of these, there's 3 pans inside. They come out of here. They also magnetize to each other. And they also have a mirror here. So I could just travel with this if I picked one of the 6 pans to travel with. This also came to New Jersey with me with that Natasha Denona Hypernatural palette, just to add a little extra pop. It is stunning. There are a couple of darker duochromes that I do find that I'm not reaching into, but all definitely the lighter ones for sure. I also love that they have a more satin matte in each pan, so that you could use these and just make one look. You don't have to have another palette. All right, I'm gonna take a little bit of this one. See what that did? Just gave some shifts of color. On the warm side, I'll take a little bit of this goldy shade, and I'll just tap this one over here. In the liner category, I have 3 pencil liners. Nothing really blew me away. I'm still in Essence stay and play kind of girl, but liquid liners, I have 3 that I want to mention to you. The first one really surprised me. This one from Element Beauty. And I think liners have been done like this before, but this one I just find to be super useful. This sort of pointy edge, it really helps you sort of stamp on the line if you struggle. This is a nice one. I got this from BoxyCharm. I'd never heard of this brand, but this is a really good liner. The second one is going to be this one. This one's the most accessible. This is L'Oreal, and this is their Flash Cat Eye. This one does have, I lost the thing. It has a little plastic piece that helps you if you want to sketch out your liner. But this tip is super fine and it is very easy to maneuver. Just adding a little bit of a wing can really give your eye a lift. This does not move, and probably my number one still. I believe I tried this in 2024. I feel like I've loved it for even longer. No, I did try it in 2024 because I remember I got this when I got the Betty Boop collection, which is beautiful, from Glamlight. This is the calligrapher liner from Glamlight. I mean, can we get some points on this beautiful packaging? And then this liner, it's just easy to use. It stays on. Glamlight has good pricing, and their eyeshadow formula is one of my favorites. Shout out to the Willy Wonka palette. I wanted to put that in this, but I just haven't had it long enough, but I do adore it. So here is the calligrapher liner, and it is even blacker than the L'Oreal, but both beautiful. And the last category is mascara. I will admit I am a mascara addict. I love mascara. I want to try them all. I have 5 in front of me and I think 2 on my list that I don't have in my stash but are so fabulous I will absolutely repurchase them. Well, let me tell you about them. The first one is one that I don't have in my collection right now, but absolutely I would buy it again. As a matter of fact, my mother was just saying she needs mascara. I think she would love it. The Wet n Wild So Defined Volumizing Mascara. This one really surprised me. I was a big Papa fan, and this one dethroned it. It gives you separation, length, volume, truly everything I'm going to talk about. That is what I want. I want all the things from a mascara. It should give me length, it should give me definition, and then if I take my time and want to keep building it, it should give me volume. The other one that I do not have, but I want to shout out, is the L'Oreal Voluminous Panorama. Now I must say it needs to be in the gold packaging because I just recently tried the one in the black packaging, which is supposed to be longer wearing and more black. I was not as impressed with that formula, and I don't know if I just got a bad one, but I remember the gold one and me falling in love with immediately. Most affordable recommendation is going to be the Essence Lash Without Limits. This one is fantastic. I do have a Lash Princess in my stash that is unopened. I'm very tempted to put these two against each other because I really love this, and I want to say that this is my number one Essence mascara. Length, volume, definition, small wand, price is right. Sephora collection, love the lift. I have loved every Sephora collection mascara that I've tried. This one has a little bit of a curvature in the small wand. This actually reminds me of the Tower 28 that I am still testing, that I had gotten in a subscription box. I'd never tried it. I do like it. This reminds me of that. Spoiler alert, in my December-January favorites and fails that I'll do at the end of this month, the Tower 28 is drying out super fast. I've had this longer than the Tower 28, and this one is still good. Tower 28, I'm almost not able to use it. So this is a good alternative for that. It really gives a nice amount of volume, length, and then of course if you wait for the Sephora sale you can get it 30% off, but I think even regular price it's maybe $12 or $14. Love this. Bottom lashes, every day I use this. This is the e.l.f. Lash Extender. I used to love the Milani. I've loved a few different tubing mascaras, but this one, the price is right. It just does a great job, and it gives me that insurance that my bottom lash mascara is not going to flake or smudge. I have traveled with this and just worn it on the top and bottom. It's just great. And my number one for 2024, I love this Maybelline Firework mascara. I actually had to pull both of these out of my needed to be decluttered piles because I had to tell you about it, and I'm going to take a chance. This is a little bit old and I'm going to use it today on one of my eyes. This one just is the fastest. This does have a flexible wand, but it gives very quick volume and length. I am wowed by my lashes every time I use this mascara, so I know for sure this would be one that I would purchase again. It is a little more of a wet formula, so my recommendation is to go in with your first coat and maybe wait 30 seconds or so for it to start to dry before you go in with the next dip. And that's how you'll get a lot of volume. Right now I've got the length and separation. I'm gonna give it a second, go with the second coat, and then you'll see the ba-ba-boo. Now here is the second coat, and I got way more volume. I had a little bit of clumping, but I definitely recommend that you get one of these eyelash separators. I think mine is from JCat. I got it on Ulta. If I can link it, I will. But if I go a little bit too hard, I just run this through my lashes and it really does make a difference. I just love the way that looks. On the other side, I'm going to use the Lash Without Limits because it's so inexpensive. Essence has a lot of good mascaras, but this one I think is special. So here is coat 1. Don't worry, we'll let that dry. And you do get a lot. I'll give it a second, go in with coat 2. Be right back. Just wait until it's dry and just flick it off, and there you go. And here is the Lash Without Limits side. I think it's beautiful. And then I'll just throw some of the lash extender from e.l.f. on the bottom of both. And then every single day, if I'm not using cream, I'm using this whiteout from Hard Candy. I just find a small brush. This one is from Beauty for Real. It is the liner brush. And I just go right in that inner corner. I just slide it across and go right like that inner V. I hope that this was helpful. Of course, I will have everything listed and linked in the description box below. The items that I spoke about, the items that were already on my face when I started. Some of those links are affiliate links, so if you choose to shop with those links, I make a small commission and it supports my channel. Be sure to subscribe. I upload Mondays and Saturdays. I would love to have you join me. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up, and I would love a comment. Let me know what you thought about my choices. Do you have different choices? Did I forget something that you feel is super important? I'd love to hear about it. Or just leave me a heart to let me know you were here. Happy New Year. I'll see you in the next one.